Good morning, Eagles Nation. I'm Desmond Patterson, and welcome to the pregame flight plan, where today we're going to go over the incredibly important game against the Atlanta Falcons today. Again, this is a game where you want to see, after a loss, a tough loss to New York Giants, you want to see this team kind of bounce back and kind of reestablish itself. Far too many times this year, we've seen games that come down to the end of the game where clutch teams win. Good teams win. They don't let these type of games slip away from them at the end. We're dealing with a young team, so those things are to be expected as they grow and learn in the process. But you know, a man is a man is a man. So you want to see them, you know, kind of reach down, kind of, you know, and grab themselves and you know say, hey, this is not who we are, and come out and show some determination, some moxie, some swag. You know, as they say today, some swag. It's going to be a game where you want to see Doug Peterson kind of step to the forefront. I know games are won by the players on the field, but for the last few weeks there have been a lot of questionable calls, a lot of questionable decisions, and some lapses in judgment. So you want to kind of see him self-evaluate and, you know, correct those things. You know, again, I don't begrudge him for being aggressive, but it's a time and a place for aggressiveness in any setting, in any situation. It's always, you know, aggressiveness is encouraged, but you got to be smart about it. You know, this season, I want to kind of take a step back, and you know, with the 3-0 start, it was kind of it kind of ignited something in the fan base, which is a good thing. You want to see that. You want to see the people get behind a team. But I feel like and I don't want to say that they came back down to earth, because I don't feel like they ever left earth. I think the fans kind of got a little ahead of themselves. You know, me included. I'm not excluding myself. But in the back of my mind, I still kind of kept that little pinch of they're still a young team. This is a rookie QB. What we seen was real. What we were watching was real. But he's still a young kid. There's a saying that goes, the QB gets too much of the credit when they win, and he takes too much of the blame when they lose. And that's completely true. But this team is going to win because of, the way that they are coached, the way that Doug Peterson calls a game, and the way that they execute it on the field. This team totally believes in itself. I don't see any doubt. I don't see any of the doubt creep in. I'm not seeing that from this team. I think they completely believe in themselves. They just need a little bit more at the end. They need to tighten their bootstraps at the end of the game and kind of clamp it down and close the deal. Simple as that. We were looking at a team that's 4-4 that could easily be 6-2 and should be 7-1. The only game being that Washington game. As close as that game was, in my opinion, they were never ever in that game. They weren't in that game from beginning. They had a kick return for a touchdown. They had an interception return for a touchdown. But offensively, they were never in this game. The Washington defensive line controlled the tempo of that game. So that's the one loss that I will give them that they fully had to take credit for. Not having a chance to win that game. The other games they had a chance to win. And all four losses they either had a lead or a chance to take the lead at the end of the game. So that's all you can ask for from your team is to be there. I knew that this was going to be that type of team. Anybody that listened to me, I told them they're not going to be fancy. They're going to be basic. They're going to be simple. They're going to be plain and straight to the point. They're going to grind it out and win games at the end. You just want to give yourself a chance at the end to win the game, which is what they've done until they acquire some supreme talent on the offensive end. I'll say, because they do have some talent on this team. I don't want it to seem like I don't think this team has talent. This team has plenty of talent, and they have a lot of fight in them also. And all that being said, the opponent this week is the Atlanta Falcons, the highest scoring team in the NFL. They have a local kid from Exton named Matt Ryan. Matty Ice went to Boston College. This is his. Hard to believe. I watched this kid get drafted. Hard to believe this is his. He's halfway through his 9th season in the league, and he's playing lights out. Couple that with the fact that the best wide receiver in the world plays for this team, Julio Jones. Some people don't even know who he is. That's because he doesn't beat his chest and dance in the end zone. Everybody knows ODB. Everybody knows Antonio Brown. But over the last 40 games, I'll say since 2014, there's no wide receiver better than Julio Jones. You can look at the numbers yourself. You don't believe me? I don't have time to map it out for you, but trust me, he is the best receiver in the world. There's nothing you can do to stop this guy. He runs every route crisp. He's 6'4", 220 pounds, 40 plus inch vertical, sub 4.4 speed. This guy runs every route. He's physical. He's smart, and he plays the game the way it's supposed to be played. He doesn't taunt people. He doesn't do any of that. This guy he's amazing. I mean, number 11. If you don't know who he is, you'll find out today who he is. There's nobody in the NFL capable of covering this guy. Nobody. So the things that you've seen him do to people in the past, he does on a weekly basis. Nobody shuts him out. Matt Ryan goes other places, doesn't throw him the ball. He's smart. He doesn't force the ball to him, and he's not a beat his chest, me guy. Throw me the ball. I need the ball 15 times a game. If they're winning, he's happy. But if they're not winning, he's going to get the ball. There's really nothing you could do to stop this guy. That being said, I feel like the defense needs to take a different approach today. I think Jim Schwartz needs to take a different approach today. And that's asking a lot, because once you have a team established and you have your defense established, how you play and what you want to do, you don't really change it mid-season. So expect to see Julio Jones manned up today. It's going to be a nightmare. Hopefully they are sensible about it, because there's nobody on this roster that could cover this guy by themselves. But if they play two deep safeties like I've been screaming for, bring another cornerback on the field, which is something that they hate to do because they want to stay in their base defense, meaning 4 down linemen, 3 linebackers, 2 cornerbacks, and 2 safeties. They want to play that way. But if you have a single high safety against Atlanta all day long, I'm telling you, this guy, he might break every record in the book today if they play that way. Again, this is a game that can be controlled by the front 4. Benny Logan's coming back this week. Thank you, Jesus. He's coming back this week, so we'll have another defensive piece in there. Not that Bo Allen played bad. Not that Destiny didn't play well. But Benny Logan is a different type of player. He's one of the best run stuffers in the game. He does get penetration. He's a disruptive force. So Um, I'm happy to have him back, especially going up against this. They're calling this the scariest offense. I don't call it that. There are certain things that you can do to kind of limit what they do. They're going to be without their running back Tevin Coleman. They're going to be without their tight end Jacob Tammy, and they're also going to be without their best cornerback, which leads me to our offense. We have to run the ball against this team. These linebackers are light. This defensive line, they like to get after the quarterback, but they're not that great against the run. I think they lead the NFL in contact with the quarterback, meaning a sack or a knockdown. So they get after the quarterback. We can't have Carson back there throwing the ball 40 times a game. This is a game that Matt Ryan and Julio Jones need to be sitting on the sideline, which means we have to grind out drives. We can't see a lot of Donnie Jones today. The less we see of our punter, the better. And when we get down in the red zone, we got to score. We got to get 6. And if we don't get 6, we got to at least come away with 3. We can't go the route that we went last week against New York Giants against this team because they're putting up the better part of 34 points a game. If this becomes a shootout, this is a definite loss. We cannot win a shootout against this game. They have a running back, Devonta Freeman. He's going to kind of cause some problems for us if we play him wrong. Kind of think back to the Lions game, how they used Theo Reddick in the passing game. Gouged us with some screens, some draws, some misdirection things. He's a small, quick back. What we need to do is get a lot of people to the ball early. He's shifty, and we got to tackle. If you get there and you miss him, he'll make you pay. This is a well-rounded team. I will say that this is this is probably the best team that we're going to face on our schedule the rest of the season. If we can get out of this game with a W, it would be huge. It would be huge. I think we can do it. But we need to see a lot of the running backs. We activate 4 running backs every week. We need to see them all today. They all need to run the ball today because that's what we need to do. We need to pound this team. We need to run the clock. We need to keep Matt Ryan and Julio Jones on the sideline getting cold. This is a dome team. They're used to playing indoors. They're outside in the elements. Make them sit down on the bench for 20 minutes at a time. Run this ball. This is a team that we can throw on. I spent the most part of this week watching old college highlights of number 17, Mr. Nelson Aguilar. And the kid has talent. He's got talent. He's got tons of athleticism. I don't know what happened between college and now. And I think it's just his confidence. I think he's one of those guys that you got to kind of, coddle along. He's still young. But the encouraging thing is last week I seen a little bit of fight in him. I seen a little bit of some nastiness in him. I think he's starting to get an attitude. I think he's starting to get, I think it took for him to he had a little outburst a couple weeks ago where he cursed the media out and told them it was dumb that they keep talking about the drops. But I think it did something because from that point on, I don't remember him dropping the ball. He's not getting targeted a lot. He still needs to do some things to be able to get open. But I think this kid is the light is going to click. Usually in the second year for a wide receiver, the light clicks on. We're midway through his second season. I would be not surprised to see him finish out the rest of this year on a high note. Zach Ertz started to have a little bit of a showing last week, which was a good thing. You want to see that continue this week because he can have some success in the middle of the field against this team. When we have to throw the ball, we got to stay out of third and long, and out of third and long, and allowing the Atlanta Falcons to pass rush, which is what they love to do. Like I said, if we keep it manageable in third and shorts, third and 3, third and 2, it'll be huge for us. It'll be a good game for us. If we can do that and allow Doug Peterson to open up his whole playbook instead of being in third, 7, 8, and 9, where they know we have to pass and they can play the pass, it'll be a good thing. I think this is a game that we win. As crazy as it sounds, I think that this is a game that we absolutely pull out. Um, I don't like to say that it was a good thing we lost, but I think it was a good thing we lost last week because if anybody watched that game and saw the end of the game and saw Carson Wentz on the sideline, he was close to tears. That loss hurt him. That loss hurt him bad. I could see it all in his face. He was trying to keep his composure, which he did, but when you're that fair skinned and you got the redheads, their emotion shows on them, and he was close to tears. So, like I said, I don't like to say I'm glad they lost, but I'm kind of glad that they lost that game because that loss, that hurt, that sting, that ache can be huge going forward. Once you lose like that, you don't want to have that feeling ever again. Anybody who's ever played any kind of sport to have a loss like that, you'd rather get blown out than to fight like that to come back and then lose when it was in your hands to win. Special teams could be huge for us this week. We got to get some big returns. I truly believe that this is a week that we're going to have a lot of success running the ball and passing the ball. Atlanta doesn't do anything outrageous. They're just a straight pass rush team. Some of their defenders, you're going to have a second-year player, Jalen Collins, playing cornerback because their best corner, Desmond Trufant, is out for this game. You got Vic Beasley, number 44. He's an outside linebacker / end. He's a pass rush maniac. I think he's got like 8 sacks on the season. But this is a game where I beat on this guy all season long, and when he does good, I want to be able to say good things about him. So Jason Kelsey, this is a game that you should do well in. They don't have a 315, 325-pound defensive tackle to put on top of his head. Jason Babinow's about 305, but he's not that type of player. He's more of a finesse player. So they should have some success running the ball, moving people at the point of attack. They do have a 320-pound kid named Rashid Hageman, but he's an end. Teams don't normally vary what they do, but seeing that teams have had success putting a big D tackle on top of Jason Kelsey and causing problems with the snap and with him pulling or in the run game, they may put him over top of him just because of the success other teams have had. But when things are going well for teams, they don't usually change what they do. But if they feel like it's a attack and a weakness, they may do it. So just keep in mind, if you see number 77 lined up over top of Jason Kelsey, it's because of what they've seen on film this season. I'm gonna try to keep it short today. I don't wanna go on too long, but our wide receivers have to win today. Number 16, I'm looking to see a whole lot more of him today. I want to see him get more than 4 targets. That would be one Mr. Bryce Treggs, a.k.a. Quick Trigger. He's key in this game. If they can get him deep and open up things underneath and keep them from crowding the line of scrimmage, and I'm talking about every team from this point forward, if they can get him involved and get him some catches and out in space, it'll be huge. So again, this is a game that I feel like we win. Atlanta is 6-3. They're a very, very good team. But if we lose this game, it'll drop us below 500 for the first time this season. I don't want that to happen with this team because they're, like I said, they're young and they're building. You want to get their confidence. You want to get their confidence high. And you start to build on that. You want to string together some wins. So, Doug Peterson has a huge task today. I hope he's up for it. They have no choice but to come out swinging. You got to keep Matt Ryan off the field, and when they get inside the red zone, they have to come away with points. I don't want to hear any more about, if we turn it over, they'll have a long field to go. No, because I'm gonna tell you, number 11 will change that long field into a short field real quick. So you don't want to give them more opportunities than they're already going to have. So, with that being said, Eagles Nation, thanks for joining me. Make sure you join me after the game on the post game 2020. My name is D. Patterson. Peace. Go Eagles.